Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another video. Hope you're keeping well. Joined by Luke again from the Real Travelling Amigos. Check him out. We're back on the North Downs way again. This is part 8, Detling to Lenham, and that is 9.3 miles in total. We're back where we started again at the War Memorial here in Detling, and we've only got about a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles tops, to go to our wild campsite for tonight, which is going to be the ruins of Thurnham Castle. I've wild camped there before a little while ago with Candice, so I know that you should be alright with doing it there. We'll soon see. There are some remains of it. There's I think a wall left, and there's the big mound where the keep would have stood, and we're probably going to camp up there. We're both using tents tonight. Luke has got his Van Gogh Soul 100 tent, I believe. I used to own one of those. I had like a Van Gogh MYX, very similar. I think mine was 2-person. Tonight I have got my Terra Laser Competition 1 tent, a little ultralight tent. So I'm looking forward to using that. We're right by like a main road here, so it's quite noisy. We've got plenty of ciders, he's got plenty of beers, we've got plenty of food. Should be good fun. So we're going to crack on. It's gone 4 PM now. Doesn't get dark till late.
5 past 5.
5 past 5. There we go. We need to get a shift on to get up to the castle. You know what I'm going to say? Enough talking. Let's get walking. Despite its comparatively short length, this section should not be underestimated, as its first half includes several long ascents and descents with many steps. Some of these can be avoided, however, on an unofficial diversion through the White Horsewood Country Park, where we should be rewarded with one of the finest views along the North Downs Way. This section is shared almost equally between the Ridge and the Pilgrim's Way, which undulates merrily along lower down. Soon after the start, we can make a short diversion to explore the remains of Thurnham Castle. The transition from high to low level is made halfway at Hollingbourne, whose intriguingly named pub, the Dirty Habit, may be difficult to ignore at lunchtime. Marley is one of the world's best known tile and roofing manufacturers, and we will pass their extensive factory at Harrietsham near the end of the section. White Horsewood Country Park opened in 2007 and is managed by Kent County Council, who have planted over 20,000 trees and created open grassland from former arable fields. We may see people engaged in hang gliding and flying model aeroplanes here. We're now up on what I believe to be the mound or the motte where the keep would have stood, the central structure of any castle really. Me and Candice wild camped over here last time. Unfortunately it looks like someone's had a fire down here, but we're going to find a spot each to set our tents up, and basically this is going to be home for the night with any luck. The view behind us is incredible. You can see a long way up here. It's pretty cool. A Rosie's Pig rhubarb cloudy cider. This was kindly given to me by a subscriber called Jeff. Met him the other day.
Hello, Jeff.
Luke says hello as well. Met up with Jeff. It would have been yesterday now. Yeah, it was yesterday. Me and Candice met up with him, and we had a look round Richborough Roman Fort and Amphitheatre, and we looked at the remains of the World War I prison nearby, near Sandwich in Kent. So he kindly gave me a couple of ciders. He gave Candice a couple of ciders, and he also gave me a Wayfarer meal for a camp as well. I really appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. I'm going to have this now. So this one is for you, Jeff. Cheers, mate. Cheers, everyone. Oh, lovely jubbly. That is one of the greatest sounds in the world. Oh, yes indeed. To a good wild camp. Believe it or not, it's actually 8 o'clock now, and we've set our tents up. I've set mine up literally just behind us, so I've got a commanding view over the surrounding countryside tomorrow morning, but it's not exactly stealthy. And Luke is tucked right in the corner.
In fact, I'm that stealthy.
Down a little path. You can't actually see him. I'm actually going to have to show you where he is later on so that you can actually see. So, whereas, yeah, I'm just sort of out in the open. We've got another Decathlon dehydrated meal, and this one is mashed potatoes with minced meat. Had that one before. That's really good actually. It's one of my favourite ones. For dessert, I've got another piece of my mum's homemade lemon drizzle cake, and I gave Luke a bit of that as well. Okay, so it's rehydrated, it's really heavy, really dense, and there is tons of mashed potatoes and beef in here, and like bits of herbs as well.
You want beef, bruv?
There we go, you can just sit in there. It kind of looks a bit like baby sick, and like, I don't know what, look at all of that. Sort of looks like porridge that's been dragged through dirt. That's how I'd describe it. It smells good though. Oh, I didn't put as much water in as it said to, because it literally looked like it was going to turn into soup. So that's not bad. It's not as good as the pasta bolognese they do. That is incredible. In fact, I think in future I'll just buy that one. And I think there's kind of like little maybe herbs and spices in it as well as the beef. So the cider for dinner tonight is going to be another Lily's Somerset cider, craft cider, and it's apples and pears, lightly sparkled again, 5.2%, sweet in flavour, made from 88% pear and 12% apple, mouth-watering with an exotic taste. Sounds nice. So let's crack it open. Cheers everyone for watching so far.
Start slurping and start burping.
Enough thinking, let's get drinking. Cheers. Oh, there's a strong smell of pear in that. I think I've got some mashed potatoes in my beard as well.
Let's have a little go on it, Tom.
Go on then, before I get me laughing gear around it. There you go. I thought you didn't drink cider.
I love cider. Has to be a nice day though. Oh, hello. Just out of shot there, wasn't I?
Oh.
If you've ever tried the Copperberg pear cider, it's like that,
Spot on.
but a more peary flavour, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'd agree. Definitely there's a Copperberg pear thing going on there. Definitely. And I'd say it's more pears than apples. It should really be pears and apples.
Apples and pears up the stairs.
No, exactly. I'm not getting a lot of apple in that.
That's delicious though.
Personally, it's not my favourite one they've done.
For cider, I'd give it a 7.5.
7.5, okay. I'm going to give it 7.1 because I'm running out of things to say about these, but yeah, no, it's not bad at all. It's still pretty good. I think it's better than a pear Copperberg.
It's not as fizzy as a pear Copperberg. That's
no.
the flavour I'm getting from it. Like
It's definitely not, no, but it is very strong in terms of pears. That's for certain. Yeah, so there we go. Lily's apples and pears.
Nice one, Lily.
Cheers.
Ching ching.
So I've had dinner, had the cider, had me coffee. It's time for the homemade lemon drizzle cake, and it's sort of got a little bit squash where it's been wrapped. Yeah, look at that. Brilliant cake made by my mum. Even though it's been wrapped for like over a day now, it still tastes pretty good. Got to get a 10 out of 10. Coming up to about midnight now, and it's time to go to sleep. We're going to aim to get up between around 6:30, 7 a.m. don't think we're going to be due a sunrise. It looks like it's going to be quite cloudy. We've checked the forecast, and around about 11 AM we're due some rain, a 35% chance of rain, and we'll be walking in that at some point. So it's a good thing I've still got a waterproof jacket with me, like a little sort of, you know, packet sort of jacket style thing, and a rain cover for the rucksack. Got dry bags for stuff anyway, so should be okay there. We've probably got about 8 miles to do tomorrow. We've basically got the majority of the section to do. We've wild camped kind of near the start of the section, almost only about a mile, 2 miles tops from Detling here at Thurnham Castle. We've sort of seen people sort of coming and going on the little lane near the castle. Could be a bit of a kind of a popular nighttime hangout for all kinds of creatures of the night. It's been a really nice night, good little camp, and just looking forward to getting some good quality sleep really. Do with a good sort of 6 to 7 hours, and that should set us up right. Got a good breakfast in the morning, I'll show you that. So, enough yawning, I'll see you in the morning. So I've got a pretty good breakfast, as I mentioned this morning. It's going to be this Norwegian Arctic field ration. It's a sports muesli. Total calories is 1300, and I bought this on eBay for about $7.99 because it's out of date. So it said the 28th of the 12th 2019, but it's dehydrated, so it'll keep for a long time, and a lot of the stuff is all like shelf stable and stuff, and it should be absolutely fine. So got it really cheap. So we got the sports muesli as mentioned. I've had these before anyway, and they're really good quality rations. So we got the sports muesli, some 60% dark chocolate, a multivitamin tablet, wet wipe, Colombian freeze-dried instant coffee. I've added some white sugar with it, some spearmint chewing gum, 2 pieces, some nut cream, which is like a chocolate hazelnut spread, cranberry protein bar, 28% protein, and we've got some whole wheat shelf stable bread and a raspberry flavoured energy drink powder. I'm just using the little mini alcohol stove, the little button stove, just because it's quieter. not cold out here at all. It's actually really mild and nice. I can hear a few dog walkers shouting at their dogs over in White Horse Country Park, but this area, the castle, seems quite quiet. You never really get anyone come in here. I think it's almost kind of forgotten about because it doesn't go anywhere. You can only come in and go around and then go back out, and it's a pretty short circuit. I think a lot of the dog walkers kind of tend to avoid it. They'd only come here if they was coming to look at the castle, so yeah, as a result we sort of get the place to ourselves, which is good. Tent was absolutely fine last night. I wouldn't say it was boiling hot, but I wasn't freezing cold either. It was just right. Got a good 6 or 7 hours sleep. I feel pretty good. I'm looking forward to this breakfast though. So I was here in the Terra laser competition 1, and Luke was tucked away in this little corner, completely out of sight. How stealthy is that? And he was in the Van Gogh Soul 100. Nice little compact tent, nice shade of green. Also, before we go, I'm going to point out as well this massive fire pit here. That wasn't us. That unfortunately was here when we found the spot. I remember when I camped with Candice up here, that wasn't here, so it's just annoying. I don't get why people feel the need to have fires all the time. And like a couple of people said, you could just dig a hole and bury the fire, stuff like that, or just bring like a firebox or something to have a fire in. Yeah, shame really. And the view, I don't know if you can see this. I've not got the tripod at the moment, so it might be a bit shaky. I just sort of picked the phone up and just went with it. The view, we'll see if we can see it, because the trees kind of obscure it here at the castle. You can see pretty far once the clouds lift. And we'll say we're on top of the motte, and there's the walls that are left standing of the castle. You can actually see an archway there as well, and that would have been part of the bailey, like the outer bailey. And you can clearly see where the ground rises up steeply up to the mound where the motte, the keep, would have been. So the castle's owned by Kent County Council, or they look after it anyway. I say look after it, just it's a shame really, because all the signs are just decrepit now. They were when me and Candice came here, but they've got worse. I think the one down at the entrance gate is the only one that's actually legible, so everything's sort of been left to get overgrown. These paths, I think, are naturally kept short by people walking through them, but everything else has just been left to grow wild, which is good in a way because it allows wildlife to flourish. But you can tell they don't really care about this site, unfortunately. The White Horse Country Park over the road though, different story. You can tell that's well looked after and that, but this has just been left to forget about until I made a video here. Thurnham Castle was first mentioned in a document dated 1225, but it may have been built as early as the 11th century, when the Normans were building hundreds of motte and bailey castles all over England to subjugate the native population. Some sources suggest that the Norman castle was built on the site of an earlier Saxon fortification known as Godard's Castle, and that this in turn may have occupied the site of a watchtower guarding the ancient ridgeway along the North Downs. The motte was a tall, steep mound surmounted by a keep that served as the commander's residence and provided a place to retreat to under attack. The bailey was an enclosed area in front of the motte containing buildings for soldiers, craftsmen and servants. The whole was surrounded by a high fence or wall and a defensive ditch guarded by a gatehouse with a drawbridge. Earlier Motte and Bailey castles were built of wood, later ones of stone, flint in the case of Thurnham. The north side of its bailey wall still stands 10 feet or 3 metres high, but the west wall has collapsed. The castle is now owned by Kent County Council and has been absorbed into Whitehorse Wood Country Park. The very large Hucking estate was acquired in 1997 by the Woodland Trust with the help of a legacy from John Larking. It consists of 578 acres of existing woodland plus arable land that has been planted with over 180,000 native broadleaf trees. hi ho, it's off to the pub we go. The Dirty Habit pub in Hollingbourne dates from the 13th century. Its name is a modern invention though. It was previously called the Pilgrim's Rest, and before that the King's Head. King James II is believed to have stayed there on his way to Dover in France. The 14th century All Saints Church has a number of impressive memorials to the Culpeper family. Got myself a pint of Coke and a Recorderlig cider as well, and count on 2 bags of crisps. I plan on staying here for a while and chilling out. I need to recover, I'm absolutely knackered. That was much needed, much needed rest. It's like Piccadilly Circus here at the moment. Those drinks and those crisps were well needed, as was just taking my shoes and socks off and resting my feet. So we've got about 4 miles to go to get to Lenham. It's kind of a heavy fine rain at the moment, probably the worst rain we've had so far on the section. Here's what it is. Enough talking, let's get walking. Harrietsham is a pleasant village whose fine church, St John the Baptist, has 2 towers, one of which is Norman, and an altar floor of medieval tiles. Pilgrim's Rest sculpture near Harrietsham is of a reclining wooden Brother Percival taking a well-earned rest on his way to Canterbury. The Marley factory was established near Harrietsham in 1923 by Owen Aisha, a local builder who took the name of the nearby farm to create the Marley Joinery Works, at first making doors and windows. The following year he started making tiles. The business expanded and in 1926 the name was changed to the Marley Tile Company. Other factories were established around the country and Marley became internationally famous, now under the management of Owen's son, also Owen, who was knighted in 1981 and died in 1993. After the Second World War, production of the celebrated tiles moved elsewhere and this site turned to manufacturing such products as drainage pipes, guttering and roofing materials. It is now part of the international group Aliaxis and plastic products are still made here under the Marley name. Right, this is the point where we leave the North Downs way. The footpath to Lenham is half a mile, that's where I've parked the car outside the church. And North Downs Way, section 9, will continue that way. We're heading this way for today. Been a pleasure. Lenham has managed to retain its village character despite having been considered a market town in the past, to the extent that it is often selected as a location for period film sets. Many springs in the surrounding meadows contribute to the rivers that flow either west, the Len, into the Medway at Maidstone, or east, the Great Stour, through Canterbury to the North Sea near Sandwich. These springs create a wetness that was ideal for the cultivation of watercress. That's the end of this video, and that's the end of part 8 of the North Downs Way, Detling to Lenham. It's been really good fun. It's been a tough section, this, considering it was only 9.3 miles.
A lot of ups and downs, wasn't there?
It was. The first half of it was absolutely savage, but then kind of the second half, after the dirty habit at Hollingbourne, was just really straightforward, really easy going, and we absolutely breezed through it. Our mileage just went up per hour. So I want to say a big thank you to Luke from the Real Travelling Amigos for joining me.
Thank you, Tom.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
It's been awesome again, as usual.
Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Get in the comments, let us know what you think. Take care of yourselves, look after each other, stay safe. I'll see you again soon, everyone. Bye.
Adios. Come on, have it.